Hey everyone, how's it going? Cloud here, and welcome to my guide on the Cave Bug Slayer Monster assignment. Now, if you're watching this guide, you're here for one of two reasons. Either you're aiming for 99 Slayer and want the best method to dealing with this Slayer monster, or you're already 99 Slayer, aiming for 120 and wanting the best method to capture this monster's soul for your codex. Whatever reason you are here, this is the guide for you. Now, in this guide we'll be going through the following: the requirements to reassign this monster as a task, which Slayer Masters assign them and how many, best locations for the most effective kills, strategies and weaknesses of the monster, recommended equipment from highest to lowest, tips and tricks to obtain the soul for your codex and dungeon, social Slayer and its rewards, key drops to collect including handy items to help with this. Now, if you have already obtained 99 Slayer but haven't started the Sunken Pyramid or Slayer Codex, make sure you click the annotation to view that video before watching this one. Now, you can choose to watch a certain part of this guide if you wish, or you can click the play all option. Make sure you have annotations turned on. So, for the Cave Bug Slayer assignment, you've got a low level and high level alternative. Now, both of these are known as cave bugs, but the levels between these two are different depending on the location you go to. So the low level cave bugs are found in one location and the high level cave bugs are found in another. So depending on sort of your approach, it's up to you which one you decide to go for. With regards to the low level cave bugs, so to be able to be assigned these as a task, you need to have a minimum of level 7 Slayer. Any lower than that, you will not be assigned them as a task. Now, the low level ones are level 8 and they have 300 life points. They have a ranged style attack and are best weak against crush style weapons. Now, for the higher level cave bug, which is level 12, so not much higher level, but you will get more XP and drops for killing these ones. The Slayer level requires to kill them is still the same, level 7, however they're level 12 and they'll now have 450 life points and obviously be a little bit more stronger. Again, they do use a ranged style attack, and again they are still weak against crush style weapons. So if you're wanting to know where to go to be able to fight either the level 8 or the level 12, the level 8 ones can be accessed in the Tavily Slayer dungeon and the Lumbridge Swamp Caves, and the level 12 ones can be found within the Chaos tunnels, and I'll talk about that a little bit further on. So as for Slayer Masters, the only Slayer Master to assign cave bugs as a task is Churail. Now, Churail can be found southeast of Tavily, southeast of the Tavily Lodestone. If you completed the Wild Gothic Sleeps quest, he is replaced by Spira. However, they both have the same effect. So there's no actual required Slayer level or combat level to use Churail as a Slayer Master, and for the cave bugs, Churail will assign you anywhere between 15 to 50 cave bugs to kill in one single assignment. So, in terms of best locations, obviously I've spoken about a few locations where you can actually find the cave bugs. Now, the two locations I would recommend, the first is if you only want to fight the level 8 ones, and that is in the Tavily Slayer dungeon. So not far from where Churail is, literally southeast, is a small dungeon which you can go inside. There's no requirement to enter it, and if you wade your way through the Slayer dungeon, eventually you'll come to an area with a load of cave bugs. Now, the only disadvantage of this area is obviously they're quite scattered about, so obviously if you are using their weakness, which is a crush style weapon, you are going to have to get up to each one of them to be able to physically harm them. Obviously the alternative is using a long range weapon such as ranged or magic. Obviously they're not as weak to them, but they're still quite low level, so that'll probably substitute the difference. So the other location I recommend is if you want to fight the level 12 cave bugs. So these are in the Chaos tunnels, so obviously be warned, you are going to have to go through the wilderness to get to the Chaos tunnels, and obviously there's 4 different entrances to the tunnels. However, I will show you the one that you want to go down to get to them. So if you teleport to the Wilderness Lodestone, there is a cave tunnel entrance directly southeast of where you are, and I've got it displayed on my map on the screen so you can see where you've got to go. And obviously head over to there, and as soon as you climb down into the area, you will literally be surrounded by the level 12 cave bugs. So they look massive compared to the other ones, but they're not that much stronger. Obviously their level is the only thing really different, and obviously how much life points they have. You will find some of the level 8 ones in here as well, but in terms of sort of location, this is the one I more recommend, as obviously you'll get more experience for killing these ones, and they're a lot closer to each other, so using your crush weapons is going to be utilised, as you'll be able to fight more than one at a time using sort of your various area hitting attacks, which I'll talk about in a few moments. So the best strategy for these using their weaknesses, so like I said, they are weak to crush style weapons, and if you're fighting the ones in the chaos tunnels, you've got the access to be able to hit more than one of them at a time. And so obviously if you wish to do that, if you use a melee two-handed crush weapon, obviously I'm using a chaotic maul here, but obviously that's a bit overpowered, but it enables you to use some of the melee abilities that are multiple hitting. So you obviously have hurricane or tornado, whatever you call that one, and quake. Both of these will damage any enemies in a 3x3 square around you, so that's quite a handy ability to keep using in this area, as it's quite enclosed and you're going to be able to hit more than one at a time, effectively making your assignment quicker. Other than that, there's no real strategy for killing these, and obviously they're not going to put up much of a fight because of their low level and low life points. So with regards to capturing the Slayer monster's soul, there's no extra chance in killing a particular level cave bug. They both got the same likelihood to drop a soul, so it doesn't matter whether you're killing the level 8s or level 12s. The only difference is obviously the experience you're going to be getting, and if you do capture a level 12 soul, that will obviously be the one that you can have in your dungeon. Now the likelihood of capturing a soul in general does have a few factors, so every kill has a chance of trapping a soul, which is affected by the base Slayer level compared to the creature's required level to kill. So obviously these only require a level 7 in Slayer. Obviously the higher Slayer level you are, the more likelihood you're going to capture them. Also, being on a Slayer assignment for the monster also doubles the chance of trapping the soul, so it is worthwhile trying to get assigned a cave bug as a soul if you're going to try and go about deliberately obtaining it. Now if a player has level 120 Slayer like myself, the chance to catch a soul is the same as if the player was on a task, so obviously you've got even more likelihood to obtain the soul. For myself, you'll see in the footage that I was quite lucky that as soon as I entered the chaos tunnels and killed a couple of cave bugs, I did capture the soul, but it shouldn't take you too many kills to obtain it. Obviously just make sure you have got your Ushabti in your inventory to be able to catch it. So for the recommended equipment, because the cave bugs are weak against crush style weapons, it's obviously going to be practical to go with a melee approach. So what I'm going to do, I will show you what I class as a low level, middle level and a high level equipment setup for the cave bugs. Obviously if you're already 99 Slayer and trying to obtain the soul, you're going to be at quite high combat level, so you're more likely to be using the high level equipment. But I'm also conscious that you might be watching this guide and just be starting off, so you won't be able to afford that much. But what I'll do, I'll show you sort of a screen print of my character in both sort of tiers of armor, low, middle and high, and with what those items are and what their sort of effects are if they're a specific one. But again, it's just recommended. You can go with whatever sort of combination that you wish. So I wanted to quickly talk about Social Slayer for those of you who don't know what that is. So Social Slayer is basically just like a normal Slayer assignment, however you can do it with a friend. So obviously I've been doing that myself with my good friend Thomas, aka Rune Movies, aka Mario Sonic, as we're both going about to obtain all the souls for our Slayer dungeon. Now how you go about doing this is with either your Slayer gem, or if you have a Slayer helmet, if you right click that item you can choose the option co-op options, and then can invite your friend to join a Slayer party with you. Do note though that once you're in a Slayer party, if you sort of go too far apart from each other or one of you logs out, you will exit the Slayer party and will have to rejoin, so just do take note of that. But basically you'll then, if one of you asks for a Slayer assignment from your respective Slayer master, you'll both share that assignment between the two of you, which is quite handy because some of you will be able to influence what assignments you get. Now obviously the only disadvantage is obviously there'll be less kills between the two of you, So for example, if Chirel assigns you 50 cave bugs, best case scenario is you'll have 25 each. But obviously the perks of it is that you'll complete the assignment quicker, which will mean you'll get more Slayer assignment points, but you'll also collect what's known as Slayer co-op points, which can be used for additional rewards. Now, being in a co-op party doesn't affect the chance of getting a soul, so you're not going to be at a disadvantage of doing it. So if you and a friend are both trying to obtain all of your 151 souls, I would recommend doing this as it makes it a little bit more fun. And the rewards you can get from the co-op points are quite good. You have the ability to use food with your partner, you can both share the same protective equipment, there's all different varieties of things you can use, so it is definitely recommended if you're up for that sort of thing. So in terms of the key drops to collect, the level 8 and level 12s do drop very similar items to one another. So the main sort of things you do want to look out for both of them is you can get a wide variety of herbs dropped by them, and obviously they've got good value ones. I think the highest level herb they will drop is the Quam, which is currently, don't quote me on this, one of the higher ones on the Grand Exchange depending on prices. So they're the main things you do want to go after. Now, if you have the money to do so, you can buy or obviously win from Treasure Hunter magic note paper, which basically enables you to put unstackable items into banknotes, allowing you to collect more of them. Now, the only thing I would be careful of on this is obviously if you right click examine on the rare note paper and obviously on your herbs, you will see the GE prices. So just make sure that the price of the herb outweighs the price of the note paper, otherwise you won't be making much profit for every note you use if the herb's only worth a little bit more. Now, in terms of the level 12 ones, they do drop sort of higher tier herbs, so obviously that's quite a good thing. They'll also drop other high sort of stackable items, so they'll drop a variety of fire runes. They can drop anything between 1 all the way to 148 fire runes, so they're worth collecting. Water battle staffs are worth collecting as well. Again, they will drop a variety of water runes and nature runes, so anything stackable is definitely worth collecting. But they also enable you to collect charms. Only the level 12 ones will drop summoning charms, and these also give you access to things like spirit emeralds, spirit rubies and spirit sapphires as well. It may be handy for you to bring some fire and nature runes along with you for high alchemy spells, so you can alchemize your water battle staffs to save you having to collect them, or if you have the explorer's ring, you can use the high alchemy through that. Again, these are just my recommendations, and it's up to you whatever you want to collect. Some of you may choose to clean some of the herbs, and you do have the different items that can help with that as well. But I just thought I'd outline what the main sort of ones are you want to keep an eye out for. So there we are, that's it for my guide on the Cave Bug Slayer assignments. Now, I know many of you will probably not be watching this guide, as Cave Bugs are a very low level monster and a very low level Slayer monster at that. However, I do want to make a guide for every single Slayer monster which can have its soul obtained by the Slayer Codex. So those of you who are just starting off on RuneScape or Slayer may find this very helpful. So myself and Thomas will be planning to make a guide on every single one of the Slayer monsters that can be assigned as a task, and also every monster that can have its soul obtained, as we're both trying to go for 151 in our codex. So obviously there will be a lot higher level Slayer monsters and higher level guides to come as we start get going, but we're just beginning with the low level ones. But if you are looking for more guides, just keep an eye out on my Slayer playlist, which these videos are added to, and more will be coming out as the coming weeks go by. But thank you very much for watching today. Please make sure you like, favourite, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to share with your friends. Thanks everyone, and happy slaying.